Hello friends, let's learn jumbled sentences for NDNA and other competitive examinations. I'm Satish Budke and I welcome you to you in this session, and this video is sponsored by the Defense Career Academy. Let's have a look at the nature of question in which there are four parts of a sentence which are jumbled and labeled as P, Q, R and S. And our job is to rearrange them in order to form a proper sequence. Okay, these are the jumbled parts of a single sentence. Now we are going to learn learn an example which is already solved for you. In this example you can see that there are four parts of a sentence which are jumbled and they are labeled as P, Q, R and S. As you know, the sentence begins with a subject, then it begins with, then the verb comes, then the object. If you look at the second part Q, you can find that it begins with is, and is not a subject, it's a verb. So your answer will never begin with this verb, because and there is no question mark also. And if there is a question mark, you can start it with is, in case it is an S no type question. But you don't find any question mark also, then that's why there is no chance of starting this sentence with is or an auxiliary verb to frame a question or an interrogative sentence. So we'll have to use an elimination technique which is generally used in competitions live taken on television channels such as uh, singing competition or dance competition. In all those kinds of competitions, elimination technique is used, and here we have four options to choose from as an answer. And if you see the options, one option begins with P, two options begin with S, and the last option begins with Q. And our answer will not start with Q. That's why you will have to eliminate this option. Option C, option D. It's an option D. Okay. So option D will never be an answer, as we can find that as you can see that the sentence will not start with is. And option R and S, both of the options begin with prepositions, and we usually don't start a sentence with preposition. Okay, that's why there is no chance of this answer starting with R or S. Okay, so option C starts with S. Elimination technique. By using elimination technique, we'll have to eliminate this option also. And option B also begins with S, and that's why we'll have to eliminate this also. Now let's observe whether the option A is correct. Let's put all those four parts of the sentence into this sequence and see whether this sequence forms the correct sentence. First comes P, the effect. Then comes S, of cinema. Yes, the effect of cinema. This is a correct combination, correct sentence construction. The effect of cinema. Then comes R, on children. Yes, the effect of cinema on children. This is also a correct grammatical structure. Is very bad. Is very bad. The last part starts with a verb, and before this verb, the effect of cinema on children. This subject is used, and that's why this is the correct answer. Now we are going to look at a few structures which will help us in understanding how to answer this kind of question. There are four syntaxes which are given here. Syntax is the structure of a sentence, how the sentence is formed, what comes after what, and what comes before what. Okay. So there are various kinds of sentences such as assertive sentence, interrogative sentence, imperative sentence, and exclamative sentence. In an assertive sentence, we generally use subject in the beginning, okay, and we don't use an auxiliary verb in an assertive sentence in the beginning. So we don't start an assertive sentence with an auxiliary verb. We can start an interrogative sentence with an auxiliary verb, okay. So we'll have to understand these basic things. With what grammatical part we start a sentence, we need to understand this basic thing. So the first structure is of an assertive sentence, and the second structure is of an interrogative sentence. Okay, and this is also an S-no type interrogative sentence because it begins with an auxiliary verb. For example, have you completed your homework? This is an interrogative sentence. It's an S-no type question. Okay. So after, in an assertive sentence, after the subject we use auxiliary verb, then we use main verb, then we use object complement or adverbial. Okay. So auxiliary verb and main verb, both of these verbs come one after the other in an assertive sentence. But in an interrogative sentence, we use the subject in between these two verbs. Okay. Now this is an auxiliary verb and this is the main verb, and between these two verbs we have used the subject. Okay. If you, I'll give you an example to understand this. Let's look at an example of an assertive sentence. I am reading a book. In this sentence, I is subject, am is auxiliary verb, okay. Reading is main verb, and a book is object. There is no complement and adverbial in this sentence, okay. These are optional things. There is no necessity that all these verbs should, parts of the elements of the sentence should always be there in a sentence, okay. And if you want to convert this sentence into interrogative, we'll have to use the subject I in between am and reading. Okay, am is an auxiliary verb, reading is the main verb. इन दोनों के बीच में हम जब subject use करेंगे तब वो interrogative sentence बन जाएगा. Okay, तो I am reading की जगह पे क्या होगा? Am I reading? So now this is an interrogative sentence which begins with an auxiliary verb am, I, then comes subject I, then comes the main verb reading. Am I reading a book? Then after this object a book, we'll have to use a question mark in order to make it a question. So this is how the structures of assertive and interrogative are. So you need to understand these basic things if you want to master the syntax of sentences, and if you want to master the kind of questions of jumbled sentences. Now the next structure is subject plus main verb. We use this, I have given this shortened structure in order to learn exclamatory kind of sentence. In an exclamatory sentence, we use the main verb after the subject. Let's look at an example. How beautiful the flower is. In the sentence, the flower is subject and is main verb. Okay. How beautiful the flower is. How beautiful is the flower? This is incorrect, because we cannot use the verb is before the subject flower. Okay. So subject must come in the at first, then the verb must follow. Okay. So these structures of the sentences, you must understand what comes before what and what comes after what. Okay. Then only you will be able to confidently answer these kinds of questions of spotting errors. These kinds of questions of jumbled sentences. Now let's look at the last structure. If you look at the last structure, you can find that there is a conjunction between some structures. Okay. And conjunction is generally used when we want to connect two different clauses. As you know, clause is a group of words which has a subject. Here we have a subject. Here also we have another subject. Means there are two different subjects. One is before the conjunction and one is after the conjunction. There are not only different subjects, there are different verbs also. Okay. So clause is a group of words like this, which has a subject and a finite verb. Finite verb means a main verb, okay, which is governed by the number and person of the subject. And according to the number and the person of the subject, we use the form of the verb. Okay, this kind of verb which is governed, the form of that verb is governed by the form of the subject, and this kind of verb is known as a finite verb. अगर किसी सेंटेंस में एक दो सब्जेक्ट्स है और दो अलग अलग फाइनाइट वर्ब्स है, तो इसका मतलब है यहाँ पे दो क्लॉजेस है, और आपको ये भी ऑब्जर्व करना होगा यहाँ पे एक कंजंक्शन की भी जरूरत है. सो यहाँ पे दो क्लॉजेस है. अब आपको समझ लेना है कि सबसे पहले सब्जेक्ट आता है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल वी यूज सब्जेक्ट, देन वी यूज वर्ब, देन वी यूज ऑब्जेक्ट, देन वी यूज अ कंजंक्शन टू जॉइन another subject, another verb and another object. Okay, so whenever a part of a sentence in a jumbled sentence, you will be given four parts of a sentence jumbled, and they will be labeled, and if a part ends with a conjunction, you will have to understand that after this part a verb will not come, a subject should obviously come, must follow. Okay, so if you understand this logical sequence of the elements of the sentence, you will be able to easily identify the correct sequence of the elements of the parts of the sentence. Okay, now let's look at let's study a few examples for practice. This is the first example for practice on your screen, in which you will find that the sentence begins with in many countries. Okay, and there are four other parts of the sentence. Actually, there are this sentence is split into five parts, and the first part is given, which is in the beginning. Okay, the sentence begins with in many countries, and then there are remaining four parts which are jumbled, and they are labeled as P, Q, R, and S. Excuse me, this is yes, they are labeled as. Yes, the sentence begins with in many countries, and after this part, there are four parts of the sentences P, Q, R, and S. All these four parts are not in their proper sequence. You will have to rearrange them in the proper sequence to form the correct grammatical sentence. Now, in many countries, if you look at the last sentence, last part of the sentence, part S, you will find that we are talking about special countries, not all countries. Okay, in many countries, especially in those in tropical and subtropical regions. Means हम सभी कंट्रीज के बारे में बात नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन बहुत सारे कंट्रीज के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनमें से भी स्पेशली ट्रॉपिकल एंड सब ट्रॉपिकल रीजन्स में जो कंट्रीज है उनके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. तो इट शुड कम फर्स्ट. ओके, एंड इन ऑर्डर टू इन मेनी कंट्रीज के बाद में हम डायरेक्टली इन यूज नहीं कर सकते यहाँ पे, और इट भी नहीं यूज कर सकते यहाँ पे. इन मेनी कंट्रीज especially in those, because something special given, the writer is talking about some special countries. Okay, those which are in tropical and subtropical regions. So your answer logically should start with S, and there are only two options, option A and B, which start with S. Okay, and you can use elimination technique and eliminate option C and D, both of which begin with P. So there are the competition has become easier, and there are only two options out of which you will have to choose the correct one. And let's see what comes after this. Okay, in many countries, especially those in tropical and subtropical countries, in this part we haven't yet used a verb. Okay, and we haven't yet used a subject also. So there should be a subject. It is necessary. It is the subject. Is a verb. Necessary is a complement. It is necessary to boil water. Okay, in many countries, especially those in tropical and subtropical regions, जो countries tropical and subtropical regions में है, ऐसे specially ऐसे countries में water boil करना necessary होता है. It is necessary to boil water. किस लिए? What is the reason? In order to kill infectious bacteria. This reason should come after. Okay, the result actually what are we doing? We are talking about boiling of water, and in order to का मतलब क्या होता है? For a special purpose. Okay, why we should do this boiling of water? We should do in order to kill infectious bacteria. So P should come before Q, and PQ is the correct sequence. After S comes P and Q. Okay, so your sequence is SPQR, SPQR, and the option B is the correct answer. Okay, and let's look at the next example now. Example number 2. In this example also there are five parts labeled. The sentence is split into five parts, and the last remaining four parts, the second four parts, which are labeled, are jumbled and labeled as P, Q, R, and S. And the sentence begins with psychologists say. Psychologists is a noun. It is used as a subject. Say is used as a verb, and after this they'll have to use we can use a conjunction. What do they say? They say that. Okay, whenever we use say or said, we use that. For example, we say our teacher said that. Okay, my friend said that. Okay, in the same way, after the verb say, we generally use a conjunction, and you need to understand this. And generally, we learn this kind of sentence in narration or direct and indirect speech kind of this kind of questions. Okay, psychologists say is a clause. After this clause comes a conjunction, and that is a conjunction. So your answer should obviously start with R. And there is only one. There are two options, option A and option B, option C, which start with R. So we can use elimination technique and eliminate option B and option D. So there are only two options left, and the competition has become easier. And what do they say? They say that humans have. Okay, what do they have? Humans have. When after the have, we generally use a verb, but sometimes we also use an object. For example, I have greater immunity. I have strong immune power. Okay, or I have two cousins. I have a bungalow. Okay, after have, we sometimes we use an object, but after have, we many of the times we use third form of the verb. And in other options we don't find any option which begins with the third form of a verb. So an object should obviously come. What is not an object? To is not an object, it's a preposition. Okay, an innate drive. Drive means an innate spirit. Okay, which forces us to do something uh, greater to achieve something. Okay, so let's first of all clear what erase all these things highlighted parts. Now we have come to the conclusion that the sentence does not begin with P or S or Q. It begins with R. Okay. So there are two options: option R and option A and option C, and both of them begin with R. Okay. Psychologists say that humans have an innate drive. Means after R, P should follow, and both of the options, option A and C, both of the options after R, P follows. So it is becoming tougher challenge to answer come to the final answer. Okay, then let's follow the answer. Okay, psychologists say that humans have an innate drive to finish. जो innate drive है, spirit है, वो क्या है? किसी चीज को फिनिश करना, टू फिनिश व्हाट दे स्टार्ट। जो चीज वो शुरू करते हैं, जो काम वो हाथ में लेते हैं, जिस काम को वो शुरुआत करते हैं, वो काम फिनिश करने की उनमें इन्नेट ड्राइव या फिर इन्नेट स्पिरिट या फिर इन्नेट डिजायर होती है। ओके, सो द करेक्ट सीक्वेंस इज this R, P, Q and S. R, P, Q, S. This option A is now the correct answer if we observe it carefully. Now let's look at the next example, example number 3, in which here also the sentence is split into 5 parts. The first part is the use of language, means the sentence starts with this part, and there are remaining 4 parts, and they are jumbled and labeled as P, Q, R and S. The use of language through our ears. Do we use our language through our ears? Means we use it for listening, but but does it logically? Do you think it logically? It will start with it. Okay. Let's see other things. The use of language and receiving. Receiving is a different kind of verb. It is a gerund. Okay, and the use of language is not a gerund, it is a noun phrase. Okay, so before and a noun phrase is used, after and a gerund cannot be used. So the sentence cannot the sequence cannot start with Q. So eliminate both of these options. Okay, now the challenge has become easier. through our ears P. Let's see if the answer begins with Q or P, because option A starts with Q and option B starts with P. This is also a technique in order to come to the final solution, and syntax also helps us. Okay, the the use of language primarily and predominantly involves, yes, this can come, the answer can start with P. भाषा का जो उपयोग होता है वो प्राइमरीली और प्रीडोमिनेंटली किन चीजों को इन्वॉल्व करता है? वो इन्वॉल्व करता है मेकिंग साउंड्स विद स्पीच ऑर्गन्स। हमारी जो भाषा के जो अवयव है, भाषिक अवयव है, जो स्पीच ऑर्गन्स है, माउथ, टंग, लिप्स, अपर पैलेट, देन all other things, all mouth organs are our speech organs, making sounds with speech organs and receiving. Here we can observe that making is a gerund, receiving is also a gerund. Okay, so making and receiving, this is now the correct sequence. Gerund plus, okay, gerund के बाद में हमने क्या यूज किया है? and यूज किया है, प्लस फिर से हमने क्या यूज किया है? gerund यूज किया है. Okay, gerund plus and plus gerund. Now this is the correct sequence. The use of language primarily, P comes first, primarily and predominantly involves making, R comes then comes Q, P R Q S. Option B is the correct answer. Okay, so in this way we'll have to solve the questions of jumbled sentences. Now we'll look at example number 4. In example number 4 also we have 5 parts of a single sentence, and the first part is nations of the world. You don't need to rearrange it, it comes in the beginning. Okay, and the remaining 4 parts are jumbled and they are labeled as P, Q, R and S. Okay, now nations of the world are making efforts in developing. Nations of the world ये subject है, इसके बाद में verb आ सकता है possibly. Okay, as they are fully aware of the danger, peaceful international relation. So R is a verb, off is not a verb, peaceful is not a verb, as is also not a verb. So generally it is a statement, and after the subject, this nations of the world is the subject, and after the subject we generally use a verb. So obviously the answer should start with Q, and let's look at these options which are given. If in answer you can see that only 2 options are there which start with Q, option C and option D. Only these 2 options start with Q, and we can use elimination technique and we can eliminate these two options, option A and option B. Now the challenge has become easier. You can see that after Q in option C, S is used, and option D, P is used. What comes? We'll have to decide what comes after Q, whether S comes or whether P comes. Okay, S is peaceful international relation, and P is as they are fully aware. Nations of the world are making efforts in developing peaceful international relations. क्या डेवलप करना चाहते हैं? वो डेवलप करना चाहते हैं relations. कैसे relations? Peaceful international relations. Okay, so after Q, S should come, and this sequence is given in option C. Now let's put this sentence into this sequence and see whether the sentence correctly forms. Okay, Q S P R. Okay, if you put these parts into this sequence, the sentence becomes nations of the world are making efforts in developing peaceful international relation as they are fully aware of the danger of their not coming together. दुनिया की जो राष्ट्र है वो पीसफुल इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस डेवलप करने के लिए एफर्ट्स ले रहे हैं, क्योंकि वो दे आर फुली अवेयर, क्योंकि वो उनको ये उनमें ये जागरूकता है कि किन चीजों के बारे में जागरूकता है? नॉट कमिंग टुगेदर, एक साथ ना आने के जो खतरे हैं, उन खतरों के बारे में उनके दिलों में जागरूकता है, इसीलिए वो ये कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि वो पीसफुल इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस डेवलप करें. सो आवर आंसर इज ऑप्शन सी. Now we are going to look at the last example in this video session, and the last example is also split into 5 parts, and the sentence begins with this part: George Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw is a very popular and a very great literary figure who composed many masterpieces in English literature. Okay, so this is the name of a person. Okay, and uh, and this is a subject. Considered is verb. After subject, verb is used. Okay, what did he consider? There should be an object. He considered correct English spelling. Okay, उसने उन्होंने क्या किया है? करेक्ट इंग्लिश स्पेलिंग को कंसिडर किया है. एंड और क्या किया है उन्होंने? एंड इन हिज विल, और उनकी जो मृत्यु पत्र है उस मृत्यु पत्र में उन्होंने लिखा एंड इन हिज विल लेफ्ट बिहाइंड. उन्होंने क्या छोड़ा पीछे? उनके पीछे उन्होंने कुछ छोड़ के गया. एंड इन हिज विल ही लेफ्ट बिहाइंड अ कंसिडरेबल पोर्शन ऑफ हिज वेल्थ. उनकी जो संपत्ति है उसका कुछ बहुत सारा हिस्सा वो पीछे छोड़ गए किस रीजन के लिए? फॉर रिफॉर्म्स इन स्पेलिंग. ताकि लिंग्विस्ट जो है, भाषा तज्ञ जो है, उनको उनको ये इंग्लिश स्पेलिंग में रिफॉर्म्स करने का जो रिसर्च है उस रिसर्च में वो जो उनका वेल्थ है वो यूटिलाइज हो जाए, इस वजह से उन्होंने बहुत सारी संपत्ति पीछे छोड़ गए. तो इसका प्रॉपर सीक्वेंस है जॉर्ज बर्नार्ड शॉ कंसिडर्ड करेक्ट इंग्लिश स्पेलिंग. द सीक्वेंस स्टार्ट्स विद आर. Okay, eliminate this and eliminate this also. Now only two options are left. Correct English spelling and then comes Q. So our answer is B. Okay. Okay friends, now with this much we are going to end our today's session. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.